So this week I had a little extra time and I was able to do something bigger, and I decided to make Ghost Rider Raph. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So this is a Michael Bay version Raph, and I knew I wanted to do with him. He was a trench coat guy. Well, I knew I wanted to do something with him, but he needed new arms, and I just got this other guy in an eBay haul, and he squeezed his legs together, and he turned out to have screws, so I didn't have to put him in the water, but I did to get the thing off his waist, or I could have cut it. Anyway, I took them apart as much as I could, and now I'd put a piece of wood underneath that's wood canvas I'm using for the base, and I have the motorcycle I got for $3 at the thrift store. That's when I decided I wanted to make him Ghost Rider, and then I got the second guy. But that's when I realized that he's like fused together and he's not coming apart, so I'm gonna have to put on the arms a different way. I moved back onto the base, and I just have some 2mm foam I did for the lines. That's where the tires were like skidding or whatever, and then I cover a bunch of Mod Podge glue, and then just dirt from outside. It's sand and little rocks that I had collected because I'm a collector. Yeah. And then another little layer of that, and I move on to, I have to, because these arms are a little thicker, so, or at least this one is, and so to make it fit the hand better, I use my Dremel to sand it and then finish it with the nail file. And back to the bike, so I got two of these bikes. One has the exhaust pipe and one is missing the exhaust pipe. And so I'm just using that to kind of model what I'm going to do for the exhaust pipe on the one that I'm using. But I'm going to do a little different, and then I drill some holes in the side to have more flames coming out. But I should have marked those because they went all on an angle. But then when I cover them with the flame, you can't even tell, so I could have just put the flame without drilling those holes. And I'm cleaning that up with my Dremel. And now I have, it's an acrylic primer and a acrylic black paint I mixed together because the primer's pretty thin. It's made for airbrushes. And I move on to painting everything black. Everything I use that I didn't get from the dollar store or the thrift store or somewhere else, I have links to Amazon down below. And now I'm dry brushing some silver on the bike to make it look a little more beat up and like it's been through hell. And details on him, I chose to do some brown for the pads on his knees and his feet and also his elbows. And now I'm just kind of dry brushing it on these hands. I think they come out really good in the end. I was really happy with the way they started to look. And now I have some red because he's still Raph. He's a Ghost Rider Raph, but he's still Raph. Now I thought of the Ghost Rider because I had the bike, and also his face still, it already kind of looks like a turtle skull. And I move on to a coat of acrylic matte varnish and covering everything that I've painted so far. And that's going to seal it all up and get it ready for the next steps. Now he needs some red accents, so I give him a strap because he's got the place for the strap, and also his belt with a red suede lace. And now I'm going in on the detail areas with a black wash, and also on the red because it was too shiny and red. And the gloves get the black wash, and just getting in all the lines and details, and they have a lot of lines and details, and so I thought they looked really good and worked really well for like Ghost Rider. His hands are like bandaged. Now it took me like 2 or 3 days to do the rest of this, and I was always waiting to make this fire. I was really excited. I've tried fire with my 3D pen, didn't work, so I put a bunch of glue. I put masking tape around this dowel that's about the same size as the tire, so then it's going to go nicely on the tire when I pull it off. And then I'm gluing, because one arm is going to be a chain with the attached to it that's kind of on fire. So I attached the chain, and now I put a bunch of glue and then I tease it. I'm just using a toothpick to just make it kind of pop up and be random and more fire-like, and adding more and more glue. I tried to see if just the glue would make it stand up and be flexible, but I had to put a small steel armature wire. And then I put a whole bunch, just random lines and flame shapes on a piece of parchment paper so that I can just take them off and stick them anywhere that needs extra flames in the future. And I glue a chain wrapped around him because I thought that would look cool, and it's very Ghost Rider-ish. Then I put a wire. This time I threaded the wire through the chain like I should have done the first time, but I wanted to test if I could get away with no wire. And just making more flames and just kind of teasing it when it starts to dry a little. And I chose to do more of a wash because I thought the light will kind of shine through if it's more clear. But I use these Liquitex acrylic inks that I bought a while back and I've never used. And if I didn't add the water, I might have not had to use the mother of pearl to thicken it up. But now I'm covering everything with yellow, all the glue. Then I move to orange and I go a little lighter. And so the yellow hasn't really fully dried. I let it dry a little. But then the orange is kind of blending in with the yellow and giving some more tones. And I move on to red. I'm doing more of a dry brush with the red because it really pops out. And then after everything dries, I think I did another light dry brushing with the yellow and peeled everything off. And now I start to add the fire to the motorcycle. So that's, it wanted to be, the shape fit perfectly around the tire, so that dowel fire worked out well. And I have the other dowel I used made those lines. And then I thought he should have another chain because why not? And it also helps the hand stay in place better because that was a little loose and gives me more places to put flames, but I only put a little bit because he's got a lot of flames. I like the chain by itself look. And I do a little touch-ups of glue, some trimming, and he's alive. Wow. So thanks a lot for joining me for this one. I hope you liked it. I've got more Marvel crossovers. I was working on a lot of Fantastic Four, but then my director dropped out, so I moved on to another superhero team, the Midnight Suns. So this has been Marvel vs. TMNT Phase 2 continuing, and I hope you liked it. Until next time, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.